Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. The week of the Manny Pacquiao-Timothy Bradley fight. But before we go further, just remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Let me be quick with this video. I already have a video up where I've made the statement that Timothy Bradley is going to be a much tougher opponent than anyone realizes. In fact, for me, this fight's a toss-up fight. So I'm looking for value play when I'm betting. I think either guy can win. I think Bradley is a very live underdog. And so for me, if you're going to give me better than even odds on Timothy Bradley, that's something I have to look at, especially when I can straddle it with Manny Pacquiao by knockout and make money if either happens. Now, perhaps you've heard the popular media narrative of a dream fight between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather being for the mythical pound-for-pound championship, right? Well, that's the mainstream media. This is online. This is the internet, right? Everyone here, me, you, the other fight fans, has a strong opinion on this one. And in my opinion, perhaps that would have been a dream fight in 2010. But this is 2012. I believe the torch has already been passed to a new generation. While I still have Floyd as the best fighter pound for pound in the sport, as I have said in other videos, Floyd is slowing down. His foot speed isn't what it was in the Diego Corrales fight, right? Networks really can't openly say that because Floyd will take his business elsewhere. But we here online aren't trying to produce a 24/7 show. We're just trying to make money at the window, at the casino. So let's call it what it is. Floyd is slowing down. With Manny Pacquiao, the problems are more severe. You can tell when a fighter is in decline by the excuses being made on his behalf for the string of less than prime performances, right? With Manny Pacquiao, pick the recent excuse. We've heard just in recent fights that Manny Pacquiao suffered leg cramps during a fight. Now we're hearing Manny Pacquiao suffered marital problems before a fight. We're even hearing that Manny Pacquiao now has God in his life. Apparently he was living a godless or a life with less God before, right? They're coming with increased frequency. Now, you don't get these excuses if Manny Pacquiao is still putting forth vintage performances, but he hasn't been. In fact, we even have the excuse that his last opponent just knew Pacquiao too well. And that's why Manny looked less than Manny. Now, he's supposed to have the power advantage over Timothy Bradley, but he hasn't KO'd anyone in quite some time. Hey, let's keep it real. Margarito went the distance. Mosley went the distance. Pacquiao knocked him down early in that fight. Mosley got up. After that, Pacquiao didn't come close to closing the show. Compare and contrast that Manny Pacquiao with the Manny Pacquiao who fought Oscar De La Hoya, where at the end of that fight, when De La Hoya quits in his corner as he had to, you couldn't even envision De La Hoya being able to make it the distance. Shane Mosley got off the canvas literally just, one or two fights away from retirement and was able to go the distance with Manny Pacquiao. We won on the over in that fight. The Marquez fight. Against Marquez, Manny Pacquiao followed him around the ring and walked into so many right hands that many people questioned the decision in that fight. Forget the fact that Marquez went the distance. People, like myself, are questioning the decision in that fight, right? Yet no one is talking about Pacquiao decline, right? Now, I believe in a few years, when all the hype dies down and you look at the films, just like if you look at the film of Ray Leonard against Marvin Hagler, you're going to notice Hagler landing a lot of body punches in that fight. I believe when we look at the films of Manny Pacquiao against Marquez, all of the fights, we're going to question whether Pacquiao won any of those fights. More troubling with Manny Pacquiao is the lack of progress. The Pacquiao who fought Marquez many years ago, right? Can you honestly say made dramatic progress when compared against the Manny Pacquiao who recently fought Marquez? Did Pacquiao pick up a lot of skills between that first fight and the last fight that showed themselves in the ring? Is he a better fighter now than he was the first Marquez fight? In fact, the first fight was a draw. But wasn't the Pacquiao in that first fight better than Manny Pacquiao is right now? Let me hear from you, YouTube Nation. Now, I believe talent is like raw material. For example, as I've said before, the ability to throw a baseball 100 miles an hour is a talent. You see a 100 mile an hour fastball pitcher, and you're dazzled. But you might overlook the fact that the guy lacks a changeup. You might overlook the fact that the guy's walking more people than he should. Right? That the guy lately has had to throw more pitches than he did in his prime. Now, my point is this. A skill is taking the talent that you have and actually developing it. So, of course, a skill is being able to throw that fastball 100 miles an hour using the same arm motion that you would throwing a curveball. A skill would be being able to pinpoint that fastball when you need a strike on a 3-2 count. Now, Manny Pacquiao is blessed with perhaps the fastest hands in boxing. He's also blessed with a straight left hand that is one of the sport's best punches. Forget pound for pound fighters. Let's talk about the best things in the sport. Manny Pacquiao's straight left hand is one of the best things in the sport. But that speed and that left hand, you tell me, what else has he added the last few years? Has he developed the rest of his game? Because there's a problem. Sooner or later, that 100 mile an hour fastball, as you get into your 30s, starts to lose miles per hour. Now, the great pitchers, they're able to then fall back on curveballs, changeups, screwballs, location, spotting the pitch, right? They're able to fall back on the kind of stuff Jamie Moyer is using today in the big leagues. Does Manny Pacquiao have a reservoir in which to fall back on if that straight left is blocked and the hand speed starts to slow? Right? Let me just say this. If Manny Pacquiao has developed the rest of his game, then why was he so predictable in the Mosley fight and in the recent Marquez fight? Marquez knew what Pacquiao was going to do practically every round of that fight. Now, who knows Manny Pacquiao better than Freddie Roach? And let me just say this. Manny Pacquiao has a rematch clause with Timothy Bradley. Manny Pacquiao has, win or lose, several big money fights out there that he could make. But yet Freddie Roach is on record as saying that if Manny Pacquiao looks bad in this fight, he's going to advise him to retire. That article is on BoxingScene.com. Now, if Pacquiao has looked great in his last few fights, and if this would be the first time Pacquiao has looked bad in a fight, why would Freddie Roach say something like that if Pacquiao hadn't looked subpar in prior fights? right? Freddie Roach, I believe, sees the deterioration. Now let's talk about some recent statements Freddie made. Freddie said that Timothy Bradley is just like Ricky Hatton. Comes in too square, right? Is predictable. Is there to get hit. Is going to walk into something. Freddie Roach publicly on 24/7 is predicting a knockout. But you know what? Let's call Freddie's bluff. This is the internet. This is YouTube. We can actually look at films. Let me challenge YouTube Nation right now to look at Timothy Bradley's fight against Lamont Peterson. You don't even have to look that far. Just look at the first 4 rounds of that fight. It's online. What you're going to see is that, first off, Timothy Bradley can fight on his back foot. I mean, he can do things that Ricky Hatton can't do on his best day. Not only that, you're going to see, straight off the Peterson film, that Timothy Bradley can lead with his right hand. Right? He can literally jump in and lead with his right. I didn't see Ricky Hatton do that too much. Keep in mind, too, since Manny's a southpaw, that right hand is the way to beat a southpaw, right? In fact, in that Peterson fight, Bradley actually hurts Peterson with the lead right early in that fight, in the first round. Let me also say this, too. Bradley isn't coming in straight all the time. In fact, as you watch Bradley, isn't the one thing that leaps out at you his skill level. The fact that he can come in looking like Power Wolak, but he can also fight to the side. He does that against Peterson. Right? The truth is in the tape. Bradley's also very good between punches. He's very good at dodging a jab. Well, my point to you is, wow, if he can dodge Manny Pacquiao's jab, if he can give Pacquiao problems, because Pacquiao's knockout punch is really the straight left from distance. You don't see Manny Pacquiao inside, apart from that Ricky Hatton fight, taking out guys with hooks, right? And so my point is simply this. Style-wise, forget the media narrative. Somebody tell me in the comments to this video exactly what Manny Pacquiao has going that should make him a 3, 4, or 5-1 favorite in this fight, depending on the book, right? My point to you is, this fight's a competitive fight. If Manny is off his game, Timothy Bradley could win this fight. Let's go one step further. If Manny is on his game, Timothy Bradley might still win this fight. I think we're going to find out a lot. Wasn't slow-footed Antonio Margarito able to pin Manny up on the ropes around the 4th or 5th rounds of that fight? Isn't Timothy Bradley a much quicker mover than, Antonio Margarito? Also, Margarito comes forward all the time. Doesn't Timothy Bradley have an ability to dance? Look at Bradley in the Nate Campbell fight. That's online too, right? You don't have to believe what me or Freddie Roach says. You can look at the film. And let's boldly go wherever the film takes us. The film tells me this is a competitive fight. I think Timothy Bradley is a very live underdog. The bet I like, just to maximize the odds on a fight that really is a toss-up, is Timothy Bradley to win the fight. You're going to get not 2-1 odds. You're going to get better than 3-1 odds on that play. Straddle against Manny Pacquiao by KO. Yes, what I'm saying is that if this fight goes the distance, I'm saying that I believe more likely than not, Timothy Bradley is the guy who gets the decision. Let me know what you think. Let me also say this too. Judges are interesting animals. If they give you a gift before, they'll be less likely to give you a gift now. I know the identity of the judges changes, but not the culture. In other words, if judges as a whole feel that you've gotten a gift, I believe they're much tougher against you in later fights. Look at De La Hoya's gift decision over Pernell Whitaker, a fight he lost, in my opinion. And then look at the decisions that came down the pike with De La Hoya against Trinidad, and especially in that Shane Mosley rematch. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com, and I know my comments are going to be jarring to some. I know I'm going to hear from many that I'm a hater and whatever. All I'm saying is, as you're calling me out, tell me where I'm wrong when it comes to the film. Thanks for watching.